Scott says Z play Warzone. Scott, Warzone's in a completely shambled state. They don't care about the game. And frankly, it's making me start to not care about the game. So, like, go watch. Dude, there's a video that you guys gotta watch, bro. Actually, let's watch it as a stream. Let's watch it as a team. This thing is talking about players are quitting Warzone at an alarming rate. And this is not just Warzone, folks. You guys obviously saw Nadeshot recently taking a break from the game. He's been grinding Marvel Rivals, and I know his philosophy and headspace and mindset is kind of where mine's at, which is that, like, he's not giving up on the game because it's a good game. Like, he likes Black Ops 6. I like Black Ops 6. I like the movement and the mechanics and the feel of the game. I just wish it worked, bro. Because if it did, I would still be grinding it. I'd probably still be grinding top 250 ranked. I'd probably be taking a little Marvel Rival stint, though, because this shit is addictive, I will say. Let's watch this video. It'll really bring you up to date with what's been going on, because JGOD goes over literally everything that is going on right now with this video. It's called Players Are Quitting Warzone at an Alarming Rate. Let's watch this together.
We're gonna have a serious talk about Warzone and the problem with the game currently, because a lot of people are just leaving the game. We have Call of Duty in general. I mean, there's a lot of different topics we'll talk about. Was the player counts, the lack of polish. I think this was planned and they knew what was happening early on. And I think there's a lot of other factors that tie into it. The category that Call of Duty's in is super competitive right now, which we'll also talk about. And I think that there's a lot of these issues that domino up, and it kind of goes back to that saying, the straw that broke the camel's back. And I think that's kind of where COD has gotten to with Warzone.
I know I pause these videos all the time we spectate, but guys, you gotta let me yap, bro, because I need to yap. How many times have we been saying this lately, bro? That this is what JGOD just said. I forgot that was even a goddamn saying, but it's literally the perfect saying to kind of really explain what's been going on with COD lately. The straw that broke the camel's back. It is not just one thing with COD right now. It's not just the cheaters, but the amount of glitches and bugs and non-polishing that this game has dealt with. Again, the straw that broke the camel's back, man. There's issues with, like, sprinting and closing doors, and, like, your top 250 badges don't pop up, and your friends list has been broken for years, and, like, you accumulate all of these issues that are all kind of small and minuscule, and, like, oh yeah, it's not that big of a deal if it was just that one thing, but because it's like that level of issue, but for like 100+ things, then it creates like this holy shit, you know what I mean? Like, holy shit, like one aspect of this game worked correctly or as intended, please. Like, that's where everything really is at.
I think that's kind of where COD has gotten to with Warzone in the 5 years of different things. So when it comes to player count, it's still right around the same numbers it was last year, but the number from launch to now is a significant drop off. It launched with 160,000 players. That includes Black Ops 6 multiplayer, which is incredibly popular with the prestige system, zombies coming in hot, multiplayer having a ton of things.
Yeah, they brought in a lot of players back, to be honest.
Multiplayer, it is what it is. And then Warzone integration happened, and it's basically lost players since then. But we got the lack of polish, where we got all the bugs. We got the server issues, and I did a full video talking about 99 problems, but the store ain't one. Yeah. That still holds true. They didn't fix like 90% of those issues. But the store is still bumping. That it's the holiday. Hopefully you guys had a good holiday. We got New Year's in a few days or whatever the case is. But regardless of that, some of these issues,
like, bro, COD hasn't even made a statement, bro. Let me just yap for 1 sec here. I actually believe that they owe like their entire player base. And this isn't for me. I mean, I am a part of their player base. But in my opinion, from a lot of the decisions, a lot of the tweets that they have made over the last couple of months, and where the state of the game is at right now, I truly do believe that they owe their entire community a humongous apology. Like, forget about the people that are like myself, that sometimes just hope the game's gonna get better and just grind the game and nothing gets better and we still continue to grind it, which I think is delusional. I agree. I think it is delusional. There are a lot of people that spent money on Black Ops 6 that can't even grind ranked right now. Like, they paid that fucking $70 or whatever it is. They can't play ranked. Like, that's a whole aspect of the game that they may love every year to grind that they can't grind right now. I mean, they can play it, but like, you're gonna get stomped by cheaters all day. So like, there's that. There's the servers, there's the bugs and issues with Warzone. I know it's a free game, but still, it's like, bro, you got a passionate amount of people that play your game and they expect a good COD every year, and they love COD, and they support your game. They support your game every year. and you're giving them a shit product. Like, the game itself, again, at its core, is God tier and great. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, the post-launch support. I'm saying the servers, the cheaters, the issues. Like, bro, they and the polishing of their game, like the little things in their game, just in a complete shit state. And then here's the other aspect and reason why I believe they owe their community a massive apology. Not only do they not communicate, they rarely communicate. Like, right now, I would almost expect from any, like, good AAA studio, you know, if this was happening in Fortnite or CSGO or anything, I guaranteed it would be it would not be a problem. It would be fixed. It would be fixed instantaneously. And if it wouldn't be fixed right away like that, because maybe it's a bigger issue, which it is a big issue, they would still acknowledge it with their player base. They'd still be like, yo, guys, hey, we know our game is in a shambles state, like complete shambles. We're doing this, this, and this to work on it. We're really trying to lock in. What we end up getting is tweets like, hey, we banned 15,000 or 20,000 new cheaters, and that's all we get. And like, oh, and we also are optimizing our blah, 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 blah with Ricochet. Ricochet's not even working. Like, all of these empty words that literally mean absolutely nothing. And then you've also got statements that they made a whole nother statement gaslighting their entire community, which I think needs to not completely go overlooked. I mean, that is one of the most insane tweets and insane responses I've ever seen to an issue with your game and your servers and your issues. You're going to tell the player base that, oh yeah, it's actually you guys that are not hitting your shots. You're not actually hitting your shots. It's actually, you know, you're not actually hitting your shots, even though you're aiming directly on the player that you see on your screen, and blood is coming out of their body when you pull the trigger and you hear the shot go off, but damage is not being dealt. That's on you guys. You guys aren't actually hitting your shots. And everyone called him out for it. I mean, JGOD, you know, I called him out. A ton of different streamers. Everybody, if you just look at the replies to that tweet, it is hilarious. But like that tweet alone, bro, like that is just that right there. If there is one thing that can like, if you don't play COD, you don't play Warzone, and you're like, okay, I want to understand the situation, I want to understand how good or how bad this gaming company is, that one tweet right there is, I think, a fucking perfect example of kind of where we're at with the level of professionalism, I should say. Because, like, chat, ask yourself this question, bro. If you guys play any other games, like I said, if you play League of Legends, you know, Riot Games, they make that game, they make Valorant, they make some really great games. If the cheating and all the issues that are happening in the game right now that is making the game unplayable, like the core part of the game, like you could go on and play the game, and for the most part it works, but like if you're running into cheaters all the time, you can't really have an enjoyable experience. You know what I mean? You can't really, if every single game has a cheater. Like, cheaters has always been a problem in Warzone, but like right now it's worse than it's ever been. So you straight up cannot play your game. That issue needs to be a top priority. It needs to be resolved like instantaneously, right? Anyway, let's continue.
And I get that it's the holiday. Hopefully you guys had a good holiday. We got New Year's in a few days or whatever the case is. But regardless of that, some of these issues, I feel like they were aware of this and they just let them fester. And as we go deeper, you hopefully, maybe you'll see my side of it, and you'll let me know if you guys agree or disagree that they already knew that this was going to be pretty bad integration. The next thing that comes up is their crying wolf. If anybody's familiar with that story, essentially you sell the same lie over and over, people stop believing you, and I think that's kind of happened in multiple different ways.
With Ricochet?
Yeah, there's multiple things they've said. They're like, oh, we got this handling on cheaters. Still tons of cheaters in the game, and there's probably
worse than ever
right now than I've pretty much ever seen, even peak Verdansk.
Oh, by far.
You have a lot of streamers that are playing ranked right now, and probably
you guys remember peak Verdansk cheating, right? You were running into cheaters all the time. It was pretty bad. Think about it. There's less players now. Cheating is so bad right now. The game is so unplayable because of it, that there's literally less players that play Warzone and Call of Duty than there was back probably, you know, during COVID because everyone was on lockdown. And yet the cheating problem is still worse. You're seeing more cheaters on average now, I would say, now than then. It's crazy, bro. It's actually crazy.
But they actually have hacker trackers, and they're on average running into 1 to 2 hackers per match, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever been at that volume. And then their lies or lack of truth when it comes to the reporting system, saying, oh, your reporting players won't cause a shadow ban, which we've seen several instances of it. Even though they've said this, no one believes it.
Yeah. Here's another gaslight, bro. I gotta pause, bro. Call of Duty updates. They said that, as a reminder, spam reporting of any kind does not impact the player's in-game standing. They make this tweet, they make this statement when a whole nother issue right now that a lot of people are dealing with is shadow bans. The worst AI, by the way, the worst AI anti-cheat style system ever seen, bro. You have developers from other games that work on other anti-cheats, like at Riot Games and stuff, literally them chiming in and saying how bad the shadow ban system is. Chat, how many of you have been shadow banned in the chat? That is you're a casual player. You play very chill, very casually, and you've probably been shadow banned. I mean, that is unbelievable, bro. That's unbelievable that regular players are being shadow banned, and you've got cheaters just going full on blatant, and a lot of them are still getting away with it. Anyway, they came out with a tweet that said, as a reminder, spam reporting of any kind does not impact the player's in-game standing, meaning that, like, there's a cheat that's been going on. Another new cheat. So we got the lobby crashing, we got all this stuff, but there's another new cheat that they can do where they can spam report an individual player, like 1,000+ reports at a time, and get an account shadow banned very easily. Okay, here's the thing. No one can, I guess I can't say there's definitive proof, because here in their statement, they're saying that they say, whether one player reports someone once or 1,000 times, our system only considers the first report and throttles the repeated reports. Now, they say that, okay? They say that, and I want to believe them, okay? I feel like, how could they even say that and lie about it? But they have in the past. So, I mean, I almost am like, okay, well, maybe, like JGOD just said, the boy who cried wolf or whatever. Right now, if you go on Twitter and you go and you look at all the top Warzone players, like I'm talking about all the top people you see in the top 250. Also, World Series of Warzone winners. Winners. The guys that went to LAN, Shifty, the boys, and dominated multiple years in a row now. Even Shifty is getting shadow banned. These top level players, it's happening regularly, and they're getting out of their shadow bans. Okay, they're being shadow banned for, you know, a week, 12 days at a time. They can't play literally for that long. They have to get a new account and just to be able to continue to keep their skills up and play on different accounts. They go back to their main account, which they're trying to get top 250 and grind ranked on, and in another day or two of grinding ranked and getting high kill games and doing well, just like playing well, boom, shadow banned again, back into the shadow realm. This is happening so frequently that, like I said, it's hard to believe when they make statements like this, because holy shit, all these different high-level players that are fantastic players, they've showed up on LAN. These are not fucking cheaters, bro. And that's the point I'm trying to make too. How many of you are casual players that get shadow banned regularly, and you know you're not cheating? You literally come home from work and you just play maybe a couple hours a week or a few hours a week. You barely got time to grind the game, and even these people are getting shadow banned. Like, bro, is clearly broken somewhere, and that's why it's hard to believe when they make tweets like this. Anyway, let's hear what JGOD has to say about this.
Truth when it comes to the reporting system, saying, oh, your reporting players won't cause a shadow ban, which we've seen several instances of it. Even though they've said this, no one believes it, and that just leads to more trust issues. And on top of that, we have systems that overlay with the trust issues, so it gets even more compounded. Engagement optimized matchmaking, where it's almost going out of way to stack the odds to specific outcomes. Whether you have favorable outcomes or unfavorable outcomes, it does different things to try and min-max your play time. So if you regularly play 3 hours, their goal is to have you play 5. If you play 5, it wants you to play 7. If for some reason your play time's lowering, they're going to go out of their way to stack the deck to give you a more enjoyable experience for your individual play style. But then that also gets stacked on. We do these double XP events. Weapon leveling is incredibly slow in Warzone. So luckily the weapon meta hasn't really shifted, and none of the new weapons have been hard meta right off the bat. But they have a really slow leveling system, so people are really paying close attention to this. And I know Exclusive Ace did a video kind of breaking down how the XP works, and I trust his work, so I believe that, hey, it is probably accurate. But it's pretty sad that it's so convoluted and the menu just doesn't look right, so it doesn't look like it tracks properly no matter how you look at it, and it ends up really coming down to a lack of trust. If other things were working and we did have a trust in these certain systems and we didn't feel like we were getting played by engagement optimized matchmaking and some of the other issues related to cheating and Ricochet, then we would be less, like, the XP issue would be less of an issue. And
bro, Do I speak for everybody when I say fuck engagement-based matchmaking? Can you just bring back like normal, please? It's such an eerie, gross feeling to be in my video game, to be in video games. I get it, you know, it's like everything these days. Every app on our phone, every social media you're subscribed to, all these companies are trying to get you to utilize their shit as long as possible. Because the longer you use it, the more money they probably end up, they end up making. Not probably, they end up making. So I get it. I understand that it's like almost like an inevitable thing that's going to happen. But holy shit, why has it seeped into video games? And I swear to you, here's where I have to be like logical and reasonable, okay? They are paying people salaries, okay, to analyze this data and to input these codes into making these systems to matchmake and do all this shit, right? They're all these algorithms. So it's almost like, okay, well, it has to be working as how they want it, but like, does working how they want it always end up making for the best gaming experience? Yeah, it might retain players somehow more, but like, does it? Are those players just complaining all the time? I guess if they're complaining all the time and still buying shit from your store, then it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? I guess to them, but like, holy shit, bro. I read the funniest comment on this video, chat. Engagement-based matchmaking is working great. My whole squad of 7 friends all quit. Like, bro, I died when I read that shit because it's just so weird, man. Anyway.
Down to this next one, which is the AI art or voice issue.
Oh my God, this one is
that they currently
horrendous.
have
AI
within
art.
Call of Duty. There was some voice drama that I'm not really sure the nuance of it. I think Raffle Waffles covered it. I saw him tweeting about it. I think he did a video with a whiteboard or something. If you're more interested, you know, go ahead and check that out. But realistically, what it came down to is there were some disagreements, contract agreements about using AI voices or something like that. And they basically cut off all their voice actors, went back in and changed some of the AI voice, which is kind of unfortunate if you're paying people to, you know, do voice acting, which is an actual skill. And then to compound on that, then we got all the...
I'm sorry to pause this again, guys. We're going to get through this video in about 1 to 2 years at this rate with the pausing. But hey, this is why you came to my stream. Get the fuck out if you don't like it. Excuse me. Wanted to take a moment to also say AI when it comes to art and when it comes to this type of shit. Because I think this shit is so... it's so troll. But I mean, again, it's inevitable. I mean, we live in a consume world. So I get it. And in a business, you know, they're going to try to cut corners and make as much money as possible. So that if they could just like not pay real actors with emotions that can really dive into a role, you know, if they're not going to do that, they could just like get AI to do all the voice acting and do all their pictures and images and skins, bro. I'm sure eventually it's going to be God tier. I think you're already starting to see some issues. Some of the photos and stuff are just like broken sometimes, like, and you're probably going to see some issues maybe with these things in the first little in maybe now and in near future. I'm sure even someday it'll be like so perfected and so useful. But even then, I feel like there's always that argument to be made that I don't know, bro. I feel like it's going to become like a novelty if it gets to a point where like AI is like writing all our shows and making all our movies and doing all our screenplays and doing all our music and all that shit, bro. That'll probably just be a niche of its own for like stuff like music and whatnot. But for like gaming and for like doing stuff like this, hopefully it doesn't just become a full-on replacement thing. Hopefully some gaming companies realize the importance of like continuing human-based shit. Like just keep it a little bit somehow tied to nature. And so we already have the in Apple headphones. I mean, we're already so disconnected. I feel like I know I'm going so far deep into just different conversations that have nothing to do. Like this is just something totally different. We're getting way deeper than we had to on a goddamn Monday morning, but we're already so disconnected, man. It sucks to see shit like this actually happen. Like with some of these voice actors who got, if you guys don't know the story, I don't know much of it either. Just like JGOD said, I do not know the nuances. I would highly advise you go watch Mr. Waffle's video on this. I haven't even I got to go watch it too, because I actually kind of want to understand it a little bit better. But from my from my understanding, some of the things in tweets and different things I read, and what JGOD just explained, I'm pretty sure some of these zombies, like on the zombie side of things, pretty sure some of them got, they got fired. They lost their job because of what JGOD just said, some different contract issues, whatever. But they just utilize AI to do the voice acting for a lot of the other parts. And yeah, all I'm getting at is that, bro, we got to hold on to at least some of our humanity, and when it comes to some things, because I feel like there's, you can't really replace the human emotion like behind a character and shit. I don't know. AI is probably going to get pretty damn close. I'm sure they're going to get pretty damn close, and I'm sure there's already some things I can't even already don't notice and pick up on. But bro, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling about random shit. Players are quitting Warzone at an alarming rate. Let's stick to the topic.
The digital stuff where they're saying, hey, look at all this AI art. We got the hand with an extra finger. So much so that no matter what, even if COD posts a legitimately photoshopped thing that just somebody made, they end up, people are like, oh, get this AI crap out of my face. And I'm like, that's kind of funny too, because somebody who actually made it's probably just laughing like, oh, yeah, you thought AI made that? It's not really a high level of difficulty to make. So they went through out of their way to do that. So it is kind of funny because all those things just stack on top of each other and create a lot of distrust within the company. And on top of this, if you're one of the people that get shadow banned, now you're even more pissed off because you can't even play the game you want to play. Then as soon as the shadow ban's gone, you get to play, you run into cheaters, and it's like a never-ending cycle of abuse, I guess, the COD players go with. And I think part of that comes down to integration fatigue as well. Even if all these issues weren't issues, integration fatigue is still a thing because of the slower leveling. I don't think people are really a fan of having to feel like they start over every single year. Yeah. Obviously, it's great for an influx of new players. They feel like not everyone has a step ahead of them. But COD players who play regularly every single year, they have to go out of their way to make sure they're leveling up their guns and start back from square one. Yeah. Luckily, if you had Black Ops 6, played zombies or multiplayer, you got to level up some of your guns. You got to reach prestige or whatever. And then you kind of had all your perks and you could create a class. And it's super streamlined for those people, and they want to incentivize you to buy the game. But anyone already playing the game that's a free-to-play player, they just kind of get penalized or encouraged to buy items from the shop, which is also kind of a terrible thing. And going back to what I originally was saying is I think they were aware that these would all be issues. A lot of these things would be issues, and I think they already had a timeline on when they were going to do it. Normally when I think they've done projects, it feels like the timeline was a specific date. Like, oh, we're going to do this, and it's going to be done by this date. That's what we're bookmarking. Every integration, it's felt that way. And we've always had these timetables where we know, oh, they want to do all this by this date. And that's normally what ends up happening every single year. And when they announced Warzone would be released like 3 weeks earlier than we expected, it kind of threw that out the window. Initially we thought, hey, you know what? Maybe they're ahead of schedule. This could be an actual W. But when it actually came out, it actually showed that, they were nowhere near ahead of schedule. Obviously, there's a lot of fundamental things that are good, but the stack of issues is so tall that it's really hard to even see the good.
Listen, my boy JGOD's got away with words, bro. I'm telling you. This guy, first and foremost, he's a fantastic guy. Like, I can't say enough good things about JGOD just because I've met this guy in person at the COD Next events and stuff, different, IRL events. He's got away with words. He's a great guy, and you can clearly tell he's obviously passionate about COD, bro. He's passionate about the game, wants to see it in a good spot. That's why any of us yap about this shit, bro. Like, I know for most people and most viewers, I know for a lot of viewers, maybe not most, okay? I know there's maybe it's even a smaller, louder demographic. Maybe a lot of you are cool with this, but like, I know there are some people that hear this yapathon from myself, and then they also hear JGOD talking about it or whoever, and they just say like, holy fuck, you guys cry all the time. And it's like, bro, we just love this game, man. And like like anything, like if we were talking about any physical sports, people cry and yap about shit in physical sports all the time. I mean, bro, we just want to see the games in a good spot. Like, we just are passionate about it. I love JGOD's passionate about it, and he's got a great way of words, man. What he just said right there, let me play it back one more time.
But the stack of issues is so tall that it's really hard to even see the good.
And it's hard to see the good. That's the whole, I mean, that fully encompasses what Black Ops 6 is, because Black Ops 6 at its core is a phenomenal game. Phenomenal. Treyarch did a great job this year. Treyarch did a god tier job. W Treyarch in the chat. They made a great game. It flows good. The shooting is good. The guns feel good. Everything feels good. Activision, the higher ups, the umbrella company, the company as a whole, that's where we're starting to see some L's.
Or experience the good or enjoy the good in any meaningful way. So because of that, I feel like they knew that they were going to have these issues.
Exactly.
Because they released it early instead of like postponing it to December 6th, which would have been a much better date to like leave that off. But I think they already knew, we're going to have DLs, issues. We're going to have to deal with it. Somebody sold them on this. I have no clue. But it's just one of those things where it adds up and it's like, ugh. And the part that makes me think that this was the case, because there was basically zero marketing. Almost every integration, we've had some kind of like hype beast moments where they were leading up to the integration. No matter which one it was, there was some kind of hype around the integration. This one, it felt like a little bit lackluster. They didn't really give us the date early. There was no build up. So I think they didn't really care about launching that part, because I think that they're going to put all their eggs into one basket when it comes to Verdansk. And by no means will Verdansk save the game. I know there's a lot of positives that come back with Verdansk, the players. If the other issues are still stacking up, you're still going to end up with the 99 problems, right, that we were talking about. Realistically, whenever they're going to release Verdansk, which I'm guessing March 12th-ish, that's kind of where the anniversary is on March 10th. Would be the 5-year anniversary of Warzone, and I think that would be an ideal time. So maybe they're thinking, hey, you know, we got 3 months. If we burn players, that's fine. We're going to go hardcore into marketing like we did with Black Ops 6. We're going to get a huge influx in players. Everyone's going to tell their friends, whatever. It seemes like a little bit of an odd strategy for me.
It is a very odd strategy.
Especially when they could have delayed the game. So I think...
And I've been talking about this. We've been talking about this a lot too. Obviously, like, it's a weird strategy because here's the thing. Like, when Verdansk comes back... Like JGOD said, it's probably going to come back in the next like 90 days. It's going to come back in the next few months. They haven't announced this, by the way. I don't have any kind of inside information. This is just speculation from the community talking about how like the 5-year anniversary of Verdansk, you know, that COVID, it's crazy. It's been that long, but like that whole lockdown grind that we all did back in Verdansk, that is 3 months away. The 5-year anniversary is three months away. And so a lot of people are obviously speculating like, okay, we know Verdansk is coming back. They've already announced that. It's probably coming back in 3 months. And that's probably why they were okay, like JGOD said, with just kind of like pushing the game out now and like giving us an old version of Verdansk. We don't even get a new map with Warzone, which again, bro, I could go off on a tangent about how ridiculous that is just simply due to the fact that, I mean, what is Warzone at its core? It's a fucking big map and a small map game mode. All the balancing and the guns and all that stuff is already done by Treyarch. They make the core game. So what in the fuck is Raven Software doing? Like, how are we not making a brand new map with the release of a new Warzone? Anyway, we could yap about that forever. That makes zero sense. I mean, it makes sense when it's coming from COD and what their decision making is, but it makes no sense when you're trying to make a good game. Anyway, Verdansk is going to come back. Going back to what I was saying a second ago, Verdansk is going to come back, and why this strategy? JGOD just said, I don't know why that, if that strategy is that great of an idea, and I agree, because one of two things is going to happen when Verdansk comes back. If Verdansk comes back in 3 months' time and they do not have their shit figured out, okay, because that's kind of what JGOD just said. That's what this kind of feels like, right? It feels like right now they don't really give a fuck if they burn players. They don't really care that the game is declining and dying. Clearly not. I mean, they're not even willing to make a statement saying, hey guys, hey, our game is in complete fucking shambles. We see you. We hear you. We know it is. We're on our A game, and we're gonna fucking fix this game and get the job done, and then they actually do stuff. No, that's not what's happening. They're literally not even responding. Like forget about a response, forget about acknowledging the issue, forget about fishing the issue. They're not even really acknowledging most of the issues all the time. So yeah, it seems like, so like I said, one of two things are going to happen. Verdansk is going to come out, and in these next few months, they're going to fix the issues, and the anti-cheat is going to work better, and the servers are going to work better, and all this stuff is going to work better, and they're going to fucking completely somehow they need to 180 turn this shit around completely the other direction. On all aspects, like I said to you guys lately, like how you do one thing is how you do all things, and every little, even all the little things in their game that is broken, it all adds up and makes sense, because that's why all your big shit's broken too, bro, because like everything you guys do is like, there's a certain level of quality to it, and your quality level is way the fuck down here right now, as far as how you guys like kind of polish your game and post-production, all that kind of stuff, right? Anyway, one of two things is going to happen. The game is either going to come back in 3 months' time, Verdansk is going to come back, and all the issues are going to be fixed, and everything's going to run smooth and great. Awesome. That'd be cool. That'd be cool if that actually happened. Or what I sadly almost have to like bet on, like if we all were doing, if this was on a gambling fucking site here, we could all place our bets here right now on what is actually going to happen. Damn, it's hard to not want to go with this option, because we've been shown time and time again that like this is the level of quality they bring to the table, and that is that in a few months' time when Verdansk comes out, they're going to market the shit out of it, and they're going to make it this big thing, and it's going to be a big thing. Think about all the people that don't play Warzone right now and haven't played maybe even since Verdansk that are going to hear about Verdansk coming back, and it's going to bring in hundreds of thousands, like it's going to bring, or millions, sorry. It's probably going to bring in millions of players for the first week. And a lot of people that haven't played the game in a long time, they're going to come back and they're going to fucking grind this shit. They're going to hopefully enjoy it. But guess what's going to happen? If the game is in the state that it's in right now, when Verdansk comes out, and they just think they could kind of like market their way out of it and nostalgia their way out of it with bringing back Verdansk, I swear to God, I swear to you, the game will be dead. Verdansk will be dead. Not fully dead. It'll be about as dead as, again, Warzone is probably right now. But it will be way less players, concurrence, over a longer period of time than what we would hope for. You know, in a month's time, like if the game comes out, if Verdansk comes out and it has all these bugs, it will probably last a week before the player count's back to where it normally is, right? Or maybe slightly above it because it's Verdansk and people are still a little hyped for another couple months or a month or so. If it comes out and the game is just buttery smooth, the servers are god tier, there's fucking isn't a cheater in sight because they finally figured out their anti-cheat, bro. I feel like sky's the limit, bro. I feel like we might have a straight up year of just good. If we just had a year of good content, we might slowly start seeing those numbers creep up. We might slowly start seeing that player base creep up, because I'll be like, holy shit, I'm coming back to Verdansk and it's actually better than I remembered it before, because hey, there's no cheaters and the game seems smoother and they seem like they give a fuck. The company themselves, like they actually like are not gaslighting us anymore, and they're actually fucking like, it seems like they're passionate about their game. But we'll see what, you know, those are the two roads that I see ahead of COD right now, or at least, you know, the Warzone right now. And we'll see which one ends up actually being the road that gets taken, the path that gets taken. We'll see.
A lot of people, it's kind of like goes back to what I was saying. It's like that final straw, and it could be the matchmaking just was too much, the hackers, the shadow banning, the bugs, the server issues, the desync, the lag compensation, whatever it is. One of those things broke the camel's back, and it wouldn't be so bad if it was like one issue or the other, but when it's like 10 and then you could stack on another 10 and then you could figure out another 10. Like when I made my video about that, it was a list of like 35 items, and the comment section were filled with about dozens others, a couple dozen others where I didn't even mention in the video. And right now for COD, it's kind of a wonky situation because the category is super competitive. Maybe not for all of you, because it depends on the game. I know some people are really into Delta Force. They got their early access, but that's only on PC, at least until they get early access next year. Marvel Rivals is coming out hot. I'm not really a fan of Overwatch or third person, so it doesn't really vibe with me, but I know a lot of people are loving the hell out of that game. And then we also have Path of Exile, which as I've been playing, they had part 2. I have almost 200 hours in the game, which is a lot if you know when the game came out. And then the Fortnite, OG Fortnite, they had the first person. They have a bunch of different modes for Fortnite, and Fortnite's been killing it. But again, it's kind of its own thing. They're competing with basically everyone and nobody at the same time.
That's
when you
so
have all
true.
Those issues,
that's so true.
Then you have the competition in gaming, And then all the problems in the game exist, except for the store always seems to work. And
bro, that is comedy, bro. That is comedy. Jay got throw a little shade right there, and I love it. I mean, bro, he has a YouTube video recently that's titled 99 Problems. It's about Warzone. 99 problems, but the store ain't one. And bro, if you know about, like, I mean, if you've been playing Warzone for the last 5 years, or like, you know, like the last 4 years, I should say, for almost 5 years, you know that like through thick and thin, the store has always, it's always been there, baby. It's always worked. You make sure we get that store running, baby. Come on.
Work.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't work, they fix it instantaneously.
They do. They
I
really
know
do.
It's way more complicated to fix an in-game bug that you have to replicate than the store.
Yes.
But it's just a bad look. It goes
It's
back
a
to kind of what I was
terrible
talking
look.
about earlier.
It's so
It's like when they did the thing with the
terrible
mist,
look.
with the blood mist when you shoot somebody.
Yes.
They said, oh, it's a erroneous hit marker or whatever the heck they said.
Yeah.
They were straight on gaslighting, had no business making those tweets or posts.
Bro.
And you just continue to lose trust.
You lose trust. You lose trust. You lose also another thing. You lose respect, bro. I'm glad everybody called him out for it too,
lose
though.
Trust.
You lose
So
trust.
It is
fully.
what it is at the end of the day. I think it's kind of in a bad state. Luckily, there's plenty of other games to play. I would encourage you to play those until they fix the game.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just beating your head against the wall. I know there's plenty of streamers that are doing that. They hate the game every second of it, but then they'll stream 10 hours a day. Nuts. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video. It has been a couple weeks. Hopefully, it won't be too long for the next one. See you on the next one. Thank you for watching.
Sadly, I fall in that category of stupid idiot. Dumb. What does Albert Einstein say? What was his famous quote? Like a psycho or being crazy or delusional is to just do something and expect different results. So I'm in that category, bro. JGOD, W video. I mean, the guy is just passionate about the game, just like I am, and just like many other people are. You know, like you just want to see it in a good place. Fucking hit that like button, sub to the channel. How am I already subbed? I'm an asshole. Yeah, JGOD in the chat. That's a great video, guys. Go show him some love on that video if you can. It's already receiving insane amounts of love already, but go show it a little bit more, baby. Come on. All right, it's time to play the game, bro. It's time to play the game.